So now we are ready to move on to the next step, which is to create our graph. So let's go ahead and select our data, say insert chart. It's going to generate a chart here. Just to make it a little easier to work with, let's move it to its own sheet. Let's go ahead and rename that 3 graph. It's nice that it already picked up that what we want is a scatter plot. If it does not give you a scatter chart, you're going to want to go in here and change that. So let's go ahead and see. We've got our axes, our current versus voltage with the units. That's exactly what we want. We might want to change the name though. So since this is Ohm's law, or at least that's what we're trying to demonstrate, go ahead and change it there. Maybe make this a little darker, make it a little bigger, centered, and bold. So the next thing we want to do is we want to find out the relationship between all of these points. As voltage increases, by how much does the current increase? What's really nice about spreadsheets is it actually gives us the opportunity to insert it here. So from the customize option, select series, scroll down to trend line, and it automatically puts a line in there. And for this particular example, it's a perfect fit. If you're using the virtual lab, unfortunately it will always be a perfect fit. If you're doing a real physics lab where you're working with an actual resistor and voltage source, you can expect a little bit more variance, which would be ideal, but of course not everyone has a voltage source and resistors handy in their classrooms. So the next thing we want to do, we got the trend line. We want to have our label include the equation, which now shows up right there. And we can say show the r squared value, which, as you can expect looking at this line, is perfectly equal to 1. Again, if you are doing an actual real physics lab with a resistor and a voltage source, you'll actually find that it'll get very close to 1, but it will not be 1. It'll probably be like 0.99 and then some trailing numbers. So at this point, everything looks good. We've got our graph, we've got our data. We are now ready to remove our instructions, and there we go.